Bobo-C Tiberius back again with some modern magic. We are playing a very stock-ish Soul Sisters build here. That's right, our thirst for Soul Sisters was not quenched by the last league, so we're trying again, this time with a very traditional mono-white list. We are keeping the 8 bounce creatures. I think what they do with the Oketra's Monument is very, very, very strong. That gives us an opportunity to kind of play a different angle and a different kind of go wide strategy that still gains us life, still interacts very well with the traditional strategy, but gives us that out. We're playing the full suite of 1-drop Sisters, the full suite of the bounce creatures, 4 Squadron Hawk, 4 Ajani's Pridemate, 4 Bugler, and 3 of the Serra Ascendant. If I had my druthers, those 3 Serra Ascendant would be Auriok champions. Serra Ascendant is sometimes dead on its own. When it's great, it's great. When you're live, it's one of the most efficient finishers in the deck. But we are fine with it in 3. At 3, we would much rather it be another sister effect, just so we always have that incremental life gain to trigger Pridemate and trigger our 2 curve toppers as Archangel of Thune. 20 lands is still a little light. There is an argument to just run 1 Thune or cut Serra and go with a 2 of something else for 21 lands. We might try that later. We might try that with, like, say, an Aven Mind Sensor or something like that. Probably not Aven Mind Sensor, because that Bugler would miss a Mind Sensor, so we would have to play around with that. But a hate creature makes the most sense. Maybe a Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, or something like that. The sideboard is really where we go out of our way to add better cards. We saw in the budget list, you run a really weird sideboard due to how expensive Rest in Peace is, how expensive some of the other pieces are. For our removal package that we add in is 2 Purges. Very good at killing Death Shadow, very good at killing Lilianas, very good at killing Chandras, all which can pose problems for us. Mostly the Liliana and the Chandras. Planeswalkers are bad for us, and this will kill most of the ones that we can't kill on the ground or that handle us too efficiently. And then the Disenchants come in as well. That's very good at shutting down War Prison decks. Basically, that exists to kill ensnaring bridges that we would otherwise play against. Rest in Peace is Rest in Peace. Stony Silence is Stony Silence. Shouldn't have to talk too much about that. 3 Damping Sphere. 2 Ruined Halo. The other card we bring in that's neat is Worship. Now, Worship, if you don't know, it's a 4-mana enchantment that says if you control a creature, damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1 reduces it to 1 instead. With all the tokens we're generating, Worship becomes a really good way to shut decks down. It's going to be very difficult for a lot of decks to kill us that way, and we just don't block ever and then slowly gain life. This also stops us from dying to damage that isn't generated from creatures, so Lightning Bolts, Valakuts, they can wipe our board with Valakut and then kill us through Worship, but they need a lot of triggers to make that happen, and we're already a life gain deck. So that is kind of our Wrath. That's kind of our hedge for Wraths. There's not really a perfect Wrath for this deck, so we hedge with something like Worship. You can also do Ghostly Prison. In that slot, Ghostly Prison is a very good hedge as well against go-wide decks, but Worship can be sometimes a little harder to deal with. It's also a little more versatile and allows us to still, as long as we can control a creature, which is relatively an easy target to hit, we're in pretty good shape. So we're going to take this through a league, see how we do. Really excited to play with a relatively traditional Soul Sisters build here. Excited to